speaking about like American Orthodoxy and talking about Americans sort of leading this charge, especially online and when it comes to Orthodoxy, do you think it's maturing, or are we still kind of in this edgy convert phase?
I think it's maturing. Yes. Yeah. Not mature yet, maybe we're not ready for our own autocephalous church yet, maybe, probably, maybe it might take a little time, but we're getting there. I mean, a couple 100 years, that's not something to shake a finger at, so.
Yeah. What do you think real lived Orthodoxy in America looks like in comparison to online Orthodoxy? Like, what are some of the things that are like you think are probably happening online, but like this is not the reality of Orthodoxy? Like, just sort of the compare and contrast between lived out Orthodoxy and online Orthodoxy.
Well, for one thing, most people, I think, like in my parish, and thank God for this, most people in my parish, they don't go on X. They might, they know me, so they know my YouTube channel. So people at my parish do watch my channel, but most people probably at most parishes are blissfully unaware of what happened on X this week. They are unaware of the debates, the scandals, a lot on if you're online and you have some sort of public persona at all, you're going to fall into there's going to be some drama, and there will be hurt feelings and people will be offended. And, you go on X long enough and you start to say, I don't want to talk to that person. I'm going to block this person. I'm going to mute that person. But if you go to a parish, that doesn't happen. Like I'm friends with everybody in my parish. I don't have. There's very few offenses happen in real life. So something about Orthodox, the internet, something about the algorithm and the platforms that we use themselves. Like, I almost wonder if they're irredeemable. Maybe we should all just log off, honestly. But I'm still here.
Why do you think Orthodoxy, especially in the West, and you can speak on this, being Orthodox for almost 20 years now, why do you think Orthodoxy attracts so many young men?
I mean, we want something to believe in, and something solid, something that you can grasp with your hand. I think everybody has something. There's something different about it. Like I actually like when I first was coming to church, I was very interested in the fasting practices because I was reading about different diets and you do this vegan diet for times, and so I think it's different for everybody. Some people like the theology, some people like the singing, some people like the aesthetics. So whatever attracts you, whatever gets you in the door, I think is a good thing. In the end, it doesn't really matter. But what keeps you there is because it's God's will, I mean, God commands us to be baptized. So
yeah. Do you think online Orthodoxy has sort of become, and maybe I'm coming from an apologetics perspective, but this is very common on X, by the way, in my personal opinion, and you can speak on this, is more about sort of like owning heretics than, leading people to Christ and his church? Has it just become about that?
Yeah. I mean, I just personally don't have interest in that, calling someone a heretic, even if they really are, it's just, that doesn't appeal to me. I don't really necessarily see the value in it, except that it does get attention clicks, views, and if you're doing this professionally, I guess I could see why if you would want to take that approach, because then you get more exposure and you can make money, if you make a living. If you're doing it for a living, I can see why that's the approach you would want to take.
Yeah. Yeah, and you sort of have to be smart in that aspect too. If it's something that like you want to do full time or something, you have to lean into some of the culture, right? The internet culture, what gets views. You got to be smart in that too. You can't just be, I'm always just gonna stick to my guns and that's it. You got to engage in some of the clickbait and clipping you owning heretics or whatever. Do you think should Orthodox clergy and theologians, right, people that attend seminaries but don't necessarily become priests, be more active online? Do you encourage them to be more active online to balance out sort of the loud lay voices that we tend to have?
I think it's good to have that presence on X. We have good priests there, like Father Michael Lilly. He's on X. He's like this calm presence. And the thing is, the priest has to have peace to be able to serve the liturgy. And there are going to be temptations, for a priest, if they're on X doing this. People will attack you in the replies. Okay. So it's sort of like they're doing it for our benefit. They don't need to be there. But please, please, please be respectful to clergy who are online. Okay. You don't try, if you're a layman, don't try to correct a clergyman, and don't try to embarrass a clergyman. This is, there's a canonical basis for what I'm saying, but try your best not to speak against the clergy, because they represent the church.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, comment, and subscribe for more, and follow my social medias in the description below. I'll see you next time. God bless.